This is a very dangerous thing to think. When you become so arrogant that you think you are better and different than other countries in the world, then that gives you a carte blanche to do nasty things. You can do nasty things because you're better. You're justified in doing those things because, yeah, we're different. So we have to divest ourselves of the idea that, we are somehow better, and, we are the city on the hill, which is what the first governor of Massachusetts, Thomas, said. We are the... Reagan also said that. Well, Reagan said lots of things, but we are, everybody looks to... No, we're an empire, like other empires. There was the British Empire, and there was the Russian Empire, there was the German Empire, the Japanese Empire, and the French and the Belgian Empire, the Dutch Empire, and the Spanish Empire, and now there's the American Empire. And our empire. And when we look at those empires, we say, oh, imperialism. But our empire, no. Yeah, there was one sort of scholar who wrote in the New York Times, he said, we are an empire light. Light? Tell that to the people of Iraq. Tell that to the people in Afghanistan. We are an empire light? No, we are heavy. Well, all you have to do is look at our history, and you'll see, our history does not show a beneficent country doing good all over the world. Our history shows expansion. Our history shows expansion. It shows us, it shows us moving into doubling our territory with the Louisiana Purchase, which I remember on our schoolroom maps looked very benign. Oh, there's all that empty land, and now we have it. It wasn't empty. There were people living there. There were Indian tribes. Hundreds of Indian tribes were living there. You see, and if it's going to be ours, we've got to get rid of them. And we did. And then, we instigated a war with Mexico in 1846 to 1848. And at the end of the war, we take almost half of Mexico. And why? We wanted that land. That's very simple. We want things. There's a drive of nations that have the power and the capacity to bully other nations, tendency to expand into the areas that those other nations have. We see it all over the world. And the United States has done that again and again. And, and then we expanded into the Caribbean, and then we expanded out into the Pacific with Hawaii and the Philippines. And of course, in the 20th century, expanding our influence in Europe and Asia, and now in the Middle East, everywhere. An expansionist country, an imperialist power. For what? To do good things for these other people? Or is it because we coveted? When I say we, I don't mean to include you and me. But I've gotten, they've gotten us so used to identifying with the government. Like I say, we, like the janitor at General Motors says, we. No. No, the CEO of General Motors and the janitor are not we. No, we're not. Exceptionalism is one part of the mindset we have to get rid of. We have to see ourselves honestly for what we are. We're an empire like other empires who is aggressive and brutal and violent as the Belgians were in the Congo, as the British were in India, and all these other empires. Yeah, we're just like them. We have to face it. When you face that, you sober up a little, and then you don't think you can just go all over the world and say, oh, we're doing this for liberty and democracy. Because then if you know your history, you know how many times that was said. Oh, we're going into the Philippines to bring civilization and Christianity to the Filipinos. We're going to bring civilization to the Mexicans, et cetera, et cetera. No. You'll understand that. yeah, that's one element in this mindset. And then, of course, when you say this, when you say these things, when you go back into the history, when you try to give an honest recounting of what we have been, not we really, what the government has done, our government has done. The people haven't done it. We're just people. The government does these things, and then they try to include us and involve us in their criminal conspiracy. You know, we didn't do this, but they're dragooning us into this. But when you start criticizing, and you start making an honest assessment of what we have done in the world, they say you're being unpatriotic. Well, you have to, that's another part of the mindset you have to get rid of. Because if you don't, then you think you have to wear a flag in your lapel, or you think you have to always have American flags around you, and you have to show by your love for all this meaningless paraphernalia that you are patriotic. Well, that's, you know... Oh, there too, an honest presidential candidate would not be afraid to say, you know, patriotism is not a matter of wearing a flag in your lapel, not a matter of this or that. Patriotism is not supporting the government. Patriotism is supporting the principles that the government is supposed to stand for. You know, so we need to redefine these things which we have come, which have been thrown at us and which we've imbibed without thinking, not thinking, oh, what really is patriotism?